How about, oh, I don't know, maybe Jason from Texas? Jason, welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Hey, David. Well, first, I want to give you a little credit. I am what you might call a former Christian nationalist.
Oh boy.
Uh, yeah, back in the day. And so Christopher Hitchens was pretty critical for getting me out of the, let's call it magic thinking.
Okay.
And you have been instrumental in getting me out of my kind of conservative craziness. So
Hmm.
I appreciate you for that.
My pleasure.
Um, so I wanted to just throw something at you and get your comment. I still am, in Texas. I'm in heavily Republican circles, including kind of the donor class. And one of the things that I think that the left needs to be careful of is with sort of silly little things like the dress code issue,
Hmm.
because there are a lot of Republicans who are on the fence who, for the first time I can remember, have actually considered voting for someone like Joe Biden.
Okay.
And it comes because a lot of conservatives are really concerned about conserving institutions, right? And they view people like Donald Trump as there to tear down our institutions. And so some of the people that I saw were open are now starting to close off over little things like the dress code I mentioned, because they see it as they they're starting to see the Democrats as the party protecting things worth conserving, if that makes sense. And little things like that seem to undermine that in my experience. And I want to get your comment on it.
I'm not totally sure I know what you mean.
Okay. So a lot of conservatives are conservative because they think there are certain things worth conserving.
Yeah, they want to
And
maintain a certain way of
right,
doing things. Yes, I'm with you so far.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so there's been something of a shift, not a huge shift, but maybe 10 or 15%, if I had to guess, of people that
Okay.
I know, who are starting to see the Democrats as the party that is conserving things, maintaining things worth keeping.
What sorts of things?
So, like the DOJ, the Democrats seem to trust the DOJ and rely on evidence instead of just throwing out accusations against the DOJ, or even the military, where Trump is going after Milley or Mattis or whoever else. And so the Democrats are starting, as far as I can tell, to gain some inroads with conservatives who want to maintain these institutions, and they're starting to view Republicans as tearing those institutions down.
Yeah, I think to some
Does
degree
that?
that's true. I mean, if you look at someone like a Steve Schmidt, who I had on the show and then I was on his show recently, he's a historical Republican who believes that a lot of these institutions are worth saving and worth having, and that's one of the big
Right.
areas where he disagrees with Trump. I don't think though that it's really causing a huge shift of former Republican voters to vote for Biden. I just think that they become
Not a
kind of
huge.
disaffected. Maybe some, maybe a sliver.
Yeah. In my experience, it looks like about 10%, maybe 15% of kind of the donor class, which is who I spend my time with.
That's fair. I mean, I think your anecdotal observation is fine. I don't know big picture that I have better data. I would just say
Sure.
your observation in Texas among the people you know may not be fully representative. I mean,
For
15% of the
sure.
Republican Party is not going and voting for Biden. This
No.
15 new, an additional 15% in November is not going to vote for Biden. So clearly it's some number, I guess, between 0 and 15.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between there. I would just, put it out there that Democrats, I think, have an angle that they're putting a point in a wedge worth driving,
Right.
if that makes sense.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Some of these institutions are worth saving, and the attacks from the right have been totally based in fantasy, not in fact.
Yep, that's it. Thank you, David.
All right, Jason from Texas, great to hear from you. Just as a reminder to people waiting to chat, your name should be your name and location, or location and name as a nickname. I see nickname. Let me see if I can. Screen name, I think, is what I mean. I see people with just like single letter nicknames or one word, characters and different things. None of those folks are going to get called on, just so you know. Think of your most personal emails. If you're using a free email provider, you should know that they're scanning every email you send and receive, even after you delete it. They're usually using the data to build a picture of your life to show you ads, which many find creepy. Our sponsor, StartMail, never scans or tracks your emails. Privacy is what comes first. And unlike other email services, when you delete an email in StartMail, it is gone forever. It also protects your data by blocking tracking pixels in emails, which companies and hackers can use to track you. You can create unlimited email aliases to protect your identity and cut down on spam. You can encrypt every email you send, even if the recipient isn't using encryption. StartMail gives you 20 gigs of storage. That's more than you get on Gmail. And it only takes a few clicks to migrate all of your emails and contacts over to StartMail. Go to startmail.com/Pacman to get 50% off your first year. That's only about $2 a month. The link is down below.